All right, guys, we're going to cut to the gear here. Let's talk about this for a bit. So this chest piece is absolutely mandatory. Ghost Wraith, maximum life converted to energy shield. That's the important thing. Like I said earlier, you want as least amount of max life as possible. And this is what does that for you. And the Chaos Res isn't bad either. Um, but the way Demon Form works is the more stacks you have, the more percentage health you lose, essentially, right? So the less maximum health you have, the less flat life regen you need on your gear to maintain higher stacks. We have Kitikos. Lightning damage from hits contribute to electrocution. That's the big key takeaway from this item. If you don't know, electrocution is an element that interrupts the target's actions. Essentially, it's a stun, and you stun the entire map with Spark, increasing your survivability by an ungodly amount. Your belt. So for your rare items, you do not want any max life for the reasons I mentioned earlier. So what I have on mine is max mana, dual res, life regen. Life regen is gonna be mandatory for every single piece that you can get it on. You won't have it on gloves or chests, but every other piece you can have it on. So we have the cold chaos res, life regen. Boots, same thing. We have max mana, cold lightning, life regen. If you don't want dual res or you find other ways to get res capped, you could do a single res, life regen, and mana regen. Those are your key stats here, because you're going to find you'll have some mana issues, especially if you're going to play Archmage, which is what we're playing with this build. The ring, you have fire resistance, life regen, mana regen, max mana. And then we have lightning damage. That's okay. It's just something you can get. It's not mandatory by any means. The breach ring, I'm looking for another ring similar to this because of the quality. You can max it up to 50% and you can stack the life catalyst on it, which actually increases the life regen. So we have max mana, dual res, life regen on this. And then the helmet, this is my only piece right now that has maximum life. You'll find that a lot of this gear is pretty niche. It's hard to find gear that doesn't have max life because everyone is selling max life. This is the only build that I know of that doesn't really want max life. So it's really hard to find pieces that fit into this. But we have the dual res, max mana, life regen, energy shield. And then our amulet, we have the life regen base, max mana, lightning res, life regen, and then spirit. Spirit's the other key takeaway. You want at least 40 spirit, I believe. It might be 35, but you need to have Grim Feast on. Grim Feast is insane for energy shield builds, and we'll go over that in the gem section. So that's the gear. Just to sum it up, max mana, resistance, life regen, and if you can fit it on the item, mana regeneration. That's going to be the biggest things for this build. Alright guys, here's the skill tree. Obviously we're playing Infernalist. I'm taking max life to get to Altered Flesh, and then I'm down here to get the extra energy shield. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't want the max life, but I think these two nodes are worth the extra 6%. Then we're going obviously into Demon Form. Spell damage, because you don't want to cap your Demon Flame. And then we have max mana. Now you could take the 2 points for spell damage, max mana, maybe go into minion if you want. I tried out a couple things with a minion and didn't like it. You could try to go into spirit and get spirit, like if you can't get a lot on your amulet if you need to. That's another option. Even the max mana, but you're not getting a lot of max mana because we already have such a low amount of health. Now coming up here, we're just going to take the ES nodes, cast speed, mana, ES. Coming over here, we have the lightning nodes to the right, magnitude of shock, going up and around. Now, I don't know if these points are worth it, but we're going all the way down here to get the regen from life, and then the big one, resilient soul. Now, you could anoint that on your amulet, but we're actually anointing Hell Heart, which would be impossible for us to go down and get. So I anoint that, grab that one. Like I said, I don't know if it's worth the points. I'm still editing the tree, adjusting, and trying new things. But coming up here, we take the ES. This node is super important. Gives us ES, but also reduces our max life. Come around, grab the jewel slots. Just to cover jewels real quick. You want the rubies for life regen. And then if you can get it, the perfect Jewel would be life regen, elemental damage, and then like maybe maximum fire res. And then I don't know about the fourth stat, but it's really hard to get something like that. For the Sapphires, maximum energy shield, recover mana on kill, area of effect, additional stun threshold. All of these are good mods and are useful for the build. But we're going to take these ES mana regen nodes, come over here, the elemental damage, res, and elements, cast speed. Maybe we'll take that one in the future. It's just more cast speed. Coming up, another Jewel, energy shield, and around. We take all the lightning damage up here. Back around, we got intelligence, energy shield, and then we take the skill effect durations, another Jewel slot, cast speed, and then Jewel over here, and then these two lightning damage nodes. We don't take these because we don't really need more shock. We already have a really high chance, and I don't really think this node's worth it. Some things you could consider taking instead. We have the projectile speed right here for Spark. You have these mana regen nodes into Arcane Intensity. I don't currently take Mind Over Matter, but I've messed around with it. But it really, we need more mana regen right now. And then we have more mana regen down here. And we have the area of effect over here. So there are tons of options to kind of play around with and try out different things. There's probably a lot that I haven't even found, but I've been trying to go through it and edit it. But yeah, that's the tree. It's pretty simple. All right, here's the skill gems. So just starting for the top, we have Demon Form, we have Ingenuity, and Second Wind. These are kind of mandatory. If you don't put these in, you won't have as many uses on Demon Form. So sometimes you'll notice, like if I go into Demon Form and then if I have to portal back, you know, it takes you out of Demon Form to portal. So there's no reason not to just throw these in for the CDR and then twice as many uses. It's yeah. Spark, we have Acceleration, Controlled Destruction, Pierce, and Arcane Tempo. Arc, now I haven't talked about Arc, but this is going to be our main boss damage right here. So we have Considered Casting, Inspiration, Elemental Focus, and Unleash. Now, I have an Inspiration into Arc and not Spark because we have Mana Leech, like Mana on Kill. So when we're clearing the map, we don't really have too many mana issues with Spark because we get percentage back. But Arc, when we're not killing stuff, I think the Inspiration in Arc is much better for our mana. Then we obviously have Archmage with Lightning Mastery. We have Mana Tempest with Premeditation, Murderous Intent. We have Orb of Storms with Strip Away, Lightning Exposure, and Font of Mana. Conductivity with Heightened Curse, Focus Curse, and Persistence. And then we have Grim Feast with Clarity. This is why I mentioned 40 Spirit earlier. This is why you need 30 for Grim, 10 for Clarity. Now you could also take, let me get over here. You could go down and take Cannibalism right here. If you can get 15 more Spirit, you can throw Cannibalism. That's going to give you more life recovered on kill. That's pretty nice, but Vitality is a bait. This is not worth it at all. Herbalism, it's not going to be used. So Cannibalism is pretty much the only other thing that you can throw in there if you want to get the 15 extra Spirit. But yeah, that's the gems. It's really simple, really easy. I don't have 6 links on anything, so it's definitely not required, but I will probably adjust it once I end up just buying the 6 links. Thank you guys for watching and staying here with me. If there's something I missed in a video that you want to see, just comment below or let me know and I can try to make another video. I'll probably try to do updates with this build. So, you know, thanks again for hanging in with me. I'm starting to stream on Twitch as well at Pulsating Sack, so feel free to stop by. I pretty much just play Path of Exile all day. So, and I'll try to roll some more footage after this of some boss kills and just some other maps. All right, take care.